it's a love of justice that generates a righteous indignation and moral outrage. And for people who are in love with the person who's president, rather than keeping track of the policies, it looks like it's an attack on the person. So when the president bails out Wall Street, $700 billion, it doesn't bail out homeowners. It doesn't say a mountain word about the new Jim Crow. And I'm critical of his relation to Wall Street. So, oh, you're critical of the president of policy? Yes. Banks get $7.7 trillion relatively interest-free loans. Students can't get relatively interest-free loans. No way. Small banks can't. The small banks can't. The big banks do. Where's Tim Guyton come from? Where's Jacob Lew come from? They come right out of Citigroup or Wall Street. And Wall Street at the center of so much of the hemorrhaging of the wealth at the top. So how can I remain silent in the face of the president no matter what color the president is? They say, Brother West, he's the first black president. I said, yes, that's a beautiful thing in a symbolic way. But love of justice means you always begin as a Christian. I look at the world through the lens of the cross. The lens of the cross begins with the orphan and the widow and the least of these. So I begin with the prisons first before I get to the White House. And I say, what is the relation of what's going on in the White House with my brothers and sisters on the block, dealing with disgraceful school systems, dealing with dilapidated housing, dealing with massive unemployment? Do I see those issues having any priority in the White House with a brilliant, charismatic black president and a beautiful black wife and two beautiful black children? Absolutely not. There's no priority. The priority has been for the well-to-do. They say, well, but what about his words? The words can be brilliant. Let's see what's happening on the ground. And at the same time, then I say, whoa, Brother West, you said that the bombs that fall in Pakistan and Yemen and Somalia are war crimes. They are war crimes. He's a war criminal. A war criminal. Nixon was a war criminal when you had corporate bombing in Vietnam. Bush was a war criminal with 45 drones. Obama's had 360 drones. Bush had 45. How can I call Bush a war criminal and not call my beloved brother a war criminal? It's the same criteria. Right. But I'm a Christian. I love war criminals too. But they need to be accountable. They need to be answerable. And the black brothers will say, no, don't say that because he's representing everybody. No. The days of HNIC are over. The head black man in charge, the head Negro in charge, never represent all black people. At all. When he does something significant, like talk about those 4-year-olds with such power, I'm with him all the way. When he talks about increasing minimum wage, I'm with him all the way. When he talks about expanding health care, I'm partly with him because he caved into big pharmacy and big private insurance, but he did extend it to poor people. I'm with him, yes. But it's love of justice. Justice cuts so much deeper than skin pigmentation and gender. You know, allow what is inside of you to come forth. Now, I can be wrong. They say, oh, Brother West, you called the war criminal, not a war criminal at all. It was Brennan who did it. Okay. I've heard that before. But you have to be consistent. Is what the great Jane Austen called constancy. It's moral consistency. You can't be on fire for one issue and not be on fire for all forms of injustice that must be contested across the board. Empire, homophobia, male supremacy, white supremacy, anti-Semitism, anti-Arab, and the things that I mentioned in my speech. And you try to be consistent in that way and then be part of the conversation. So there's a sense in which many black brothers have said, well, Brother West, you just have to be more polite. And I said, that's not my calling.